But the march will make them realize this ain't no joke. This is actually happening.
Hey, since you're in New York, Reverend Manning, what do you think of these bomb scares all of a sudden in New York City, Times Square, and them shutting down bridges and stuff? That could lead to them pulling some kind of closure during the trial dates or around that vicinity. Or, what do you think about that?
I am convinced that Richard the Shoe Bomber, who was the first of the failed terrorists who tried to blow up a flight crossing the Atlantic, tried to light his shoe, and it wouldn't work, had an alleged bomb in it. I'm not sure how he, exposed how powerful the bomb was. And then a couple of years later, we get this fellow out there in Detroit who's got an underwear bomb. He's tried to ignite his underwear, and that didn't work. And now we got this creep that was arrested last week who tried to blow up ignite a bomb in Times Square. He gets out of his vehicle and leaves the car running, leaves the lights on and flashing in the middle of Times Square, which is like leaving it on in the middle of a Walmart store shopping window. I'm just not convinced that the terrorists are that stupid whereby they can't get a bomb to detonate 3 tries and they keep messing up. I just don't believe that. I just don't believe that all of this that we see going on is really being done by anybody who really wants to ignite a bomb. I mean, how dumb can you be, and how smart do you have to be to stick a match to something and cause it to blow up? I think it's all a farce, and I don't want to be someone say, well, what do you think you're so important that they're going to actually to stop your trial, they're going to shut down New York, shut down the bridges and cause a lockdown so nothing can happen while your trial is scheduled to go on until the days go by, so nobody will come or go. Well, do I believe that they would do that? Well, if someone else says that they would do it, I'll believe it. That's kind of how I put it.
Yeah, I think it's just something to pay attention to. It sounds to me like a trick they would pull. And like you said, it's just so evident. Any moron could probably build a better bomb and make it work. It's just almost ludicrous. And they're just cinching down the no-fly list protocols. They got these full body scanners in the airports now. It's just turning into a total police state. Meanwhile, they got people on mainstream media saying Americans don't deserve Miranda rights anymore. We're basically considered terrorists here in America. And the list just goes on and on and on and on. It just doesn't seem like America anymore.
No, it isn't. You're absolutely right, and I think people need to come to terms with that. There are a number of people who are perhaps either not old enough or smart enough or off drugs long enough to recognize that this nation has drastically changed from what it used to be. America used to be a great nation. We've got a myriad number of problems that are not American-style problems. Our problems, whether it's the economy or whether it's terrorism or whether it's corruption in politics or corruption in our cities and courts, stems from the fact that we are not doing the things that Americans do to prevent these problems from encroaching upon us. But the problem is that you've got people who don't know Joseph. You've got people who don't remember when we were a constitutional nation, who don't remember when we could pray in school, who don't remember when a teacher would not be thrown in jail for citing a Bible verse during the course of a history lesson, or they don't remember those days, and so therefore they have no reference points. So everybody's just lottie-dotting along. I said the other day, Obama's got a gift from hell, because the people that are voting for him and that admire him and that believe in him, they don't know anything. They're clueless about morality. They're clueless about integrity. They are clueless about greatness and what builds great nations. And more specifically, many of them actually, what they do know about America, they hate, especially black people. Black people hate America. They hate this nation. So it's very easy to manipulate people, first of all, who don't know anything. So obviously they have no reference points, or whatever you tell them they believe. And then it's very easy to manipulate people. If you know that they hate this nation, then they're going to do everything they can to help you destroy it. Obama's running around here talking about destroying America, and everybody's talking about he's doing a great job.
Well, they're systematically dismantling the nation, pushing towards world government. By the way, I was going to ask you about that. What's your outlook on world government, and do you see the move towards world government yourself?
Well, I have to tell you this, that it is as natural as the sunrise and sunset that the planet would move towards a one world government, that people would gravitate towards that it is a natural phenomenon. And we have to appreciate that from two perspectives. One is that it is the intent of every religion that has ever been. Not that I give validation to all religions, but just that the fact that they exist, I acknowledge. I'm a Christian, and I believe Christianity is the way, the truth, and the only way in truth. But having said that, every religion has had as its ultimate goal, and that is to bring everybody to its way of thinking, to bring everybody to its principles and practices, to have a one world, one religion, one ideology. And in Christianity, we even have a verse in the book of Ephesians that says one Lord, one faith, and one baptism, one way only. So it is the intent of religions and also the efforts of every Christian, including myself, to have just one. But you have to know the opposite of that would be for the world to want to be a one world body, a one government body. And what has happened heretofore is that nations have started out small, for instance, and they've gone on and colonized and brought other nations under their thumb. And in Europe now, they have what is known as the European Union, where all these nations, although they were independent years earlier, have come together at least to share a common currency, common borders, common privileges, common trade, so that they might be one. Obama wants to be a one-world government, not because he's so much interested in that principle, but he wants to rule the world. That's what he wants. He believes if it's one, then he wants to be the president of it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, that's what I think. Moving back a little bit into the trial, because I want our listeners to be filled in as much as possible on this, Reverend, and I want to see as many people participate that can. If anyone can get down in New York next week, the 14th through the 19th, go ahead and do it. I mean, make your way down there. Go down to Columbia. Go to these demonstrations. Show your presence. Let these people know that we're sick of all this and the shenanigans that's going on in our nation, and we got fake presidents installed now, and the whole nine yards. Going back to the trial, Reverend Manning, for our listeners on KWTF FM in Texas, network 1776.org, and the intelhub.com. What grounds or charges are being presented in this trial, and what kind of legal standings do they have, and how are you able to charge them with these charges that you're presenting?
Well, one of the things I want your listeners to know is that they can go to our website at atla.org. That website is atla.org, and that atla is spelled A-T-L-A-H. Again, it's A-T-L-A-H. And if you go there, you're going to see just a ton of information about the trial dates, about there's all kinds of information about how to come to New York and what to do when you're here, and what we're planning to do, the march. All of that is there at the website. So I would encourage people to go to atla.org, A-T-L-A-H.org, and then you're going to find all the information. And the other thing I'd like to say, it's very important that we get as many people in New York on Friday, May the 14th, that we possibly can. And I'm asking people to make a sacrifice. I know that people are working, and then coming to New York is very expensive. But I'm asking people to make a sacrifice. And there's several things people need to come to terms with. That Obama, as you and I know, that he has been skirting this issue about his eligibility. The media has covered up for him, and the courts will not allow a fair